Committee on Gubernatorial Appointments will come to order. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
O'Laughlin, Lukemeyer.
Here.
Bean. Beck. Bratton. Brown. Berger. Moon. Mosley. Roberts. Williams.
We have a quorum. First up is going to be Sean Cornelius, nominee to the State Milk Board. Senator Black, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Rusty Black. I represent the 12th Senatorial District, sometimes referred to as the Great Northwest. I am honored to sponsor James Sean Cornelius. I learned the James part, same as my first name. I didn't know that. We've known each other for years. As a member of the State Milk Board, for those of you that will look up, I wore this tie in honor of this today. Mr. Cornelius, a native of Hamilton, Missouri, is a graduate of Penny High School. He pursued studies in aviation technology at Central Missouri State University and later embarked on a career in dairy farming, a role he continues to hold today. In addition to his work as a dairy farmer, he serves as a consultant for 4C Dairy and Best Access. Active in the industry leadership, Mr. Cornelius is a council member for the Dairy Farmers of America Central Area, president of the Caldwell County Farm Bureau, and secretary of Missouri Dairy. His past leadership roles include serving as chairman of the Missouri Dairy Industry Alliance from 2019 through 2021 and as chair of the Caldwell County Zoning Board from 97 to 2000. And he told me last night he's helping start back up the dairy judging event in Hamilton, Missouri for the ag kids. So obviously I'm very, very supportive of the fact that he's here today for your consideration. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Black. Any questions for the nominee? Senator Moon.
Good morning, Mr. Cornelius.
Good morning, Senator.
I read the USDA back in December had announced a federal order to begin testing dairy herds for the avian flu. What are your thoughts on that?
So that is a federal mandate, and it will be required that we do that testing. I personally support that. Avian influenza is a virus. There will be two ways out of it. We either vaccinate out of it or we find immunity through it. We've got to identify where that is and be able to follow that trail to eliminate this from dairy farms.
Has the avian flu, in your estimation, been a problem in U.S. dairy herds in the past?
Prior to the recent months, no, it hasn't, but it was identified in dairy herds in the United States in March of this year.
And what impact does the avian flu have on the human?
So this is all very emerging stuff. It's very new. We really don't know everything about it yet. Mm-hmm. I really don't know exactly what it's going to mean to people. The big thing is science repeats over and over, pasteurized dairy products are safe. Pasteurization kills this virus. Pasteurized products are safe for human consumption, and science stands on that firmly.
So is this test primarily targeted toward the independent dairy operators as opposed to the ones who typically sell in the stores for retail?
Repeat that, please.
Is this order primarily, since you're saying that pasteurization will kill the avian flu, mm-hmm. The concern that's been brought to my attention is that this may be targeted toward the independents who don't pasteurize and sell whole milk to either individuals, and some stores do allow it now, but is that the primary target of this particular testing, do you believe?
I don't think that it's targeting anybody in particular. I believe that it's guaranteeing a safe food supply, and I think that's an important step to make sure that people are safe.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions of the nominee? Seeing none, Mr. Cornelius, thank you for your willingness to serve.
Thank you so much.
Next nominee is Brian Hammons, nominee to the Coordinating Board of Higher Education. Senator Crawford, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the committee, for the record, Sandy Crawford, District 28. It's my privilege to sponsor this morning Brian Hammons for the Coordinating Board of Higher Education. I've known Brian for many years. He comes from Stockton, Missouri. If you've had any product with a walnut in it, he probably had a hand in that because his company is Hammons Products, and they they don't produce walnuts, but they process them, I guess is a better way to put it. He's a great businessman. He has one thing I did not know about Brian, I did not know he had a law degree until I looked at his resume. So very capable individual. He has, as you can see by his resume, he has done a lot of community service, a lot of volunteers. He's been on the Missouri State University Board of Governors. He's been involved in all facets. He's been involved in his church, community activities, and many business activities. And probably the most interesting fact on his resume is he can run circles around us because he's done many marathons, including how many Boston marathons? 13 Boston marathons. So he has plenty of energy to do whatever we throw his way. So it's my pleasure to sponsor him this morning.
Thank you, Senator Crawford. Mr. Hammons, just one overarching question. Sort of what would be your number one priority if confirmed to this board? What would be the one thing that you would kind of want your legacy to be?
One of the major things that I think has been done is to bring together higher education and workforce development. So I want to be sure that our overall education system is targeted to the workforce development needs of our state, of our employers, of our communities, to train people to fill the jobs that are going to exist, not just now, but also in the long-term future. So looking out for that will be my primary objective.
Any further questions for the nominee? Seeing none, you got off easy. Thank you for your willingness to serve, Mr. Hammons. Next up is Sheila Tracy for Ray County Commissioner. Senator Gregory, whenever you are ready.
All right, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Curtis Gregory, State Senate District 21, which encompasses Ray County. I'm proud to present before you Ms. Sheila Tracy for presiding commissioner in Ray County. Lifelong Richmond, Missouri resident, and when the presiding commissioner had to resign for health reasons back last fall, new commissioner gets appointed. There are some questions of having to go through a Senate confirmation hearing, and I said to the person that asked that, I said, I don't really know. I don't think so, but then I found out I did, and I was like, well, I need to get to meet this lady so I can actually present her in front of the committee. So we got to have lunch a couple of weeks ago, got to meet her, and to me, whenever you ask people in the community about someone, that tells you the true measure of a person, and everyone I talked to spoke glowingly of Ms. Sheila here. I'm assuming you have the resume in front of her, but the thing that stuck out to me was Northland Regional Chamber of Commerce president for, was that 27 years? Yeah, I'm an offensive lineman. The math is a little tough to do this early in the morning. But Mr. Chairman, as you know, the Northland Regional Chamber covers a lot of things, and if you look at the bullet points there, the things you're responsible for getting done, the last one on the list was actively worked on the new KCI project, from being part of the steering committee to the opening of the new terminal, and very involved with the MARC board, of which Ray County is a member of the Regional Planning Commission. And as we know, our rural roads need lots of help, so her involvement with that, I'm hoping we can get some roads in shape up there in Ray County, and I think she'll do a wonderful job as presiding commissioner of Ray County. So with that, I'd love to have any questions.
Any questions for this nominee? To give Senator Moon a second to get back to his seat, just to make sure he doesn't have any questions. No questions.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
Seeing no questions, Ms. Tracy, thank you for your willingness to serve. Next up is Michael Turner for the Missouri State Highway Patrol Superintendent. Senator Bernskoetter. I don't believe Senator Bernskoetter is in here. So while we're waiting on Senator Bernskoetter, I have a nominee that I'm going to be presenting on behalf of Senator O'Loughlin. So that'll be Mr. Tim Peach with the Missouri Propane Safety Commission, and I'm going to turn the chair responsibilities over to Senator Bratton for a moment.
Well, thank you, Senator. Proceed when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Senator Tony Lukemeyer representing the 34th Senatorial District. Today I have the honor of introducing Mr. Tim Peach of Lewis County as a nominee to the Missouri Propane Safety Commission. I'm presenting this nominee on behalf of Senator O'Loughlin. Mr. Peach was appointed by the governor to the Propane Safety Commission in August of last year, an appointee of Governor Parson. Mr. Peach has over 47 years of experience working in the gas and propane industry. He started as the owner and operator of Peach Gas Company and Convenience Store in 1976 and currently works for Pinnacle Propane as their operations supervisor. Mr. Peach is a respected member in his industry and serves as the Region 1 Director for the Missouri Propane Gas Association. Mr. Peach will be a great addition to the Missouri Propane Safety Commission, and I urge the committee to support his nomination. We'd be happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Any questions? Senator Moon, proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Peach.
Good morning.
It's been my memory, and I could be off on some of the particulars, but it seems like that when we get into the colder months of the winter, that there's some lifting of some regulations as far as weight that's being carried over our roads. Is there another maybe longer lasting solution than just temporary relief, or is that, in your opinion, is that the best way to go about that?
So it's not a weight restriction, it's an hours of service that we have that lets us go past the normal DOT regulation hours. And one of the things that happens there, long waiting lines at terminals to get loaded. So if they're sitting there in their truck for 4 or 5 hours in line, that counts against their on-duty hours. So that hours of service waiver is important. Let's just go a little longer, and that way we can get product to the customers that need it.
Have you noticed with that waiver of the hour restriction, have there been any increased accidents on Missouri roads as a result of it?
We really haven't seen any increase in that. Obviously, sometimes when the road conditions are worse, there may be an increase in accidents, but it's not related to the hours of service part of it.
I mentioned that because I believe it was the Moving America Forward. I could be wrong on that national move. It had to do with the e-logs, electronic logging, and they were required. Those electronic logging devices were required, and the whole point was to reduce the accidents that occurred because drivers were apparently working longer than they should have.
Yeah.
And what we learned was what you just stated. A lot of times they're waiting to get their loads, and that's once they reach that. I think it's a 5 mile per hour limit that your clock starts and it doesn't stop until your time runs out. So
Yeah.
maybe we can have some more discussions about that. But we had some movement to get rid of that. The feds didn't want to do it. The state didn't want to do it. But
Yeah.
it's costing us, I think, in a lot of different ways. So perhaps we can work through some other solutions. So
Yeah.
but I appreciate you being willing to serve on the board and look forward to talking to you some more.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Any other senators? Thank you very much. Look forward to your willingness to serve.
Thank you.
And I will hand it back over to the chairman.
Okay, we have Senator Bernskoetter with us. So next up is Michael Turner for Superintendent of the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Senator Bernskoetter, whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Like the chairman said, I have Major Michael Turner here for Superintendent of the Highway Patrol. He was appointed to the patrol on January 1st of 1996 upon graduating from the patrol's Law Enforcement Academy. He was assigned to Troop F, Zone 5 in Camden County, and he was promoted to Corporal and Assistant Supervisor on April 1st, 2001. In April 29 of 2007, he was promoted to Sergeant and designated Zone Supervisor of Zone 6 in Montauk and Morgan counties. He has served on the Troop F SWAT team for many years, and he's served as a SWAT team leader from 2004 to 2011, founding member of the Central Missouri Tactical Officers Association. He was promoted to lieutenant in November 1st of 2011 and assigned to Troop F headquarters 2015, March 1st. He was promoted to captain, designated commanding officer of Troop F. On April 1st of 2019, he was promoted to major and named commander of the Support Services Bureau. And on March 1st of 2022, he was named commander of Field Operations Bureau. He was born in Texas but grew up in Kansas City, graduated from North Kansas City High School, earned an Associate of Arts degree from Metropolitan Community College in Kansas City, Missouri in 1994, Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice from Columbia College in 2000. He graduated from St. Louis University Law Enforcement Leadership and Organizational Change Program in 2014. He graduated from Missouri Police Chiefs Association Command College in 2017 and earned the David Stewart Academic and Leadership Award. In 2017, he earned his Master of Arts in Sociology and Criminal Justice from Lincoln University. In 2019, he completed Police Leadership, the West Point Model Executive Level course. In 2021, he completed the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry Leadership Missouri program. He is also a recipient of the Patrol's Valor Award. Major Turner and his wife, Stacy, have 2 children, Evan and Elizabeth, and a grandson, Rowan, and he would be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Bernskoetter. Any questions for Major Turner? Senator Bean.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, I have 2 questions. Great to have you here today, and my golly, what an impressive career. So I asked this question before, is officer recruitment and retention. Definitely, seeing some scary numbers in my opinion. What's your opinion on that? What do we do, and how can we work together with that?
It is one of my 4 points, my 4 priorities, Senator. Recruitment and retention is huge for the patrol. Right now we are down over 150 officers, 157 as I checked yesterday. And I think the best thing that I can do from this position is to listen. The things that we used to do in the past are no longer working for the younger ladies and gentlemen that we are attempting to recruit. So I'm listening to our recruiters, and we're looking at the data. We look at the exit interviews from people that are leaving the organization, and we try to determine why they're leaving the organization and what we, as an agency, can do better to keep them.
I got one more. So my last question is, I would like to know your opinion personally and for the patrol on pickleball.
Oh, my. Well, Senator, I injured my knee a few months back, so I'm officially retired. But it's a good way to blow off some steam during the lunch hour, for sure.
Thank you and congratulations.
Any further questions for Major Turner? Senator Back.
Yeah. I'd like to probe the senator's question a little bit further. So you said you've looked into why folks are leaving and leaving the highway patrol, and what are some of the impediments of trying to get younger people in? What have you found so far as is the number one reasons, the reasons why they're leaving, and are the reason why you can't recruit?
Yeah, very good question. Thank you for it. There's a lot of commitment that comes with being a Missouri State Trooper, a lot of sacrifice that goes along with it. We cover 114 counties throughout the state. Each one of them is different, and scheduling is tough, especially when you get farther along in your career and you get married and you end up having kids, and those kids have activities. So we're looking at different things we can do as far as scheduling goes. Our promotion system most of the time requires a move, unless you get very lucky. My wife and I have moved 10 times in my 30-year history, 29-year history on the patrol. I think there's a way we can do a better job, and we've already started to make changes in that regard. As far as recruitment goes, like I stated earlier, the people that we are recruiting now, they're different than they were 30 years ago, and the tactics that we were using 30 years ago no longer work. So the best thing we do is we listen to our recruiters. What works? What doesn't work? Do we need to change our approach to the media? Rather than a long commercial, perhaps those short clips on social media that capture their attention.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Major Turner? Seeing none, thank you for your willingness to serve, and very much enjoyed visiting with you last week in the office. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right, that is the last nominee. So I would make a motion that we go into executive session. Do I have a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those contrary, no. Ayes have it. We're in executive session. I would now make a motion to bring up for consideration all of the nominees and rolling them into a single slate. Senator Moon. The motion has been made by Senator Moon to vote separately on Mr. Cornelius, the nominee to the State Milk Board. I will second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. Ayes have it. He'll be voted on separately. I would now make a motion that we roll the remaining nominees into a single slate and vote on them as one. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Senator Mosley, it was Senator Moon's motion, so if you want to direct that question to him, you're more than welcome to direct that question to him.
I'm just curious why you wanted to separate.
That's a good question. Several constituents contacted me about the proposed testing by the federal government and wanted to know what the impact might be on them. And knowing that we had a nominee for the milk board, they suggested that I not support someone who was going along with the federal mandate of testing raw milk.
Anything further, Senator Mosley?
Constituents were aware of the federal mandate to test for the avian flu in dairy herds. And since they are producers and primarily deal with raw milk, they don't want to be under the imposition of being tested. And so they were aware that we had a nominee who would be appointed to the milk board, and they wanted me to determine whether or not the candidate was in support or opposition of the federal mandate. And since he is in support of it, they asked me to oppose his nominee or nomination. So that's my point there.
Any further discussion on the pending motion to roll all the remaining nominees into a single slate? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. Guys have it. You've rolled the nominees into a single slate. I would now make a motion to vote do pass Sean Cornelius's appointment to the State Milk Board. Do I have a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
O'Laughlin. Lukemeyer.
Aye.
Bean. Beck. Bratton. Brown. Berger. Moon. Mosley. Roberts. Williams.
9-1. By a vote of 9-1, you have voted do pass the nomination for Mr. Cornelius. I would now make a motion to bring up the remaining slate of nominees for a vote. Do you have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
O'Laughlin. Lukemeyer.
Aye.
Bean. Beck. Bratton. Brown. Berger. Moon. Mosley. Roberts. Williams.
10-0. By your vote of 10-0, you have voted do pass the slate of nominees. No further business coming before the committee. I would now make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. We are adjourned.